Hello, hello, and we are live from Moncton. So let's
and
start
and,
this.
and Nova Scotia.
Yeah, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. So hi everyone, and welcome to another Ask Julie Anything webinar. I am Mariana Nadai, and I will be your host today. After a while, we are having having some special webinars. Today, we are going back to the basics and we'll host our traditional Ask Julie Anything. If you are new here, you might have been asking yourself, what does that mean? Like, what is the traditional Ask Julie Anything? Well, it means that during today's session, our co-owner and formulator, Julianne Lee, which is here with me, we will answer any questions you may have about your beloved fur family. So you know how it works. Don't be shy and ask Julie anything. But before we start, I want to remind you about some housekeeping rules. Please switch your chat to everyone so we can all join in the conversations. Use the Q&A box below to ask your questions. The questions will be answered in order, first come, first served. And we will do our best to cover as many questions as possible. And we are saying this for a while now. Please keep your questions small so we can we have the chance to read more questions and to answer more questions. Thank you everyone for understanding this. And the most important thing of all, the session provides a judgment-free space with only the health and happiness of our animals and the planet being our core goal. So without further ado, Julie, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Hope everybody is well. Uh, Before I start, I just wanted to mention, I'm pretty sure that everybody knows who she was, but for those of you that have been following me for a long time, know how near and dear she was to my heart, which is Dr. Jane Goodall. And we lost her in physical form today, but I've been so emotional about this. I said to Mariana, I just didn't even put mascara on because I had to take it off about 100 times, uh, and I'm really very sad and feel like we did an Instagram post and a Facebook post, but I really feel like it's almost spooky for me because as long as Jane Goodall was in the world, I felt like there was this power of goodness and someone with so much. She was the most gentle soul I've ever known in my whole life. But she also was so powerful and so brave and so incredible. So when she was around, even, in her late 80s and she was 91, but she always for me represented this beacon of hope and this protection of wildlife and the planet and people. But it's really sad. So I wanted to, dedicate tonight to her and just, send send prayers and energy to her spirit and let her know how important she was to this world. And hopefully she'll still be able to guide us from wherever she is. And yeah, so Mariana has a really nice quote. I didn't think I could even read anything without bursting into tears. So she's going to read the quote.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that after like we had this conversation before and like earlier today, and I was like on my Instagram and just browsing, and then suddenly I got impacted by a quote from her that really impacted me deeply because in the time that we are living, I guess some of us are so pessimist about the future, so pessimist that we cannot change things anymore, and then that's it. Then I would start reading and I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful, and I really want to share with you all today. So the quote is like this: there is still so much in the world worth fighting for. So much that is beautiful, so many wonderful people working to reverse the harm, to help alleviate the suffering, and so many young people dedicated to making this a better world, all conspiring to inspire us and to give us hope that it's not too late to turn things around if we all do our part.
Yeah. Yes, she that's what I was saying about hope, because she never, I mean, she fought some pretty tough battles, and
Hmm.
protected, protected the jungle and the chimps and apes, like, like a mama bear, I would call it. And so she was not she was a force to be reckoned with, but she always did it in such an incredibly graceful, I don't know, just like a an angel warrior almost, like she had that warrior energy, but she had like this angelic presence about her all the time. She was very much like, I just looked up to her so much on every single level, but she was never really dark and gloomy. She was always empowering, which I think is phenomenal and really rare, like incredibly, incredibly rare. So, speaking of empowering and being hopeful and everything in between, we can start answering
Yes.
questions and helping everybody, you know, be empowered and stand up for their furry creatures and the planet. And
Yeah,
so,
let's do this.
okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with Bonnie Pillar here. My 16-year-old Shih Tzu was recently diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia, complete shock. We have been using Adorbis chaga and turkey tail mushrooms, love bugs, phytosynergy, and potency omega-3 for 3 years. Just got Phytosflora and Holistic Vet advised to start liver tonic. Should I continue with all of these and any change in recommended dose when a pup has this cancer? I have home cooked meals for a few years and now tweaking that a lot. What would you recommend to make sure to include in her diet that would be beneficial now that we are facing this? Any herbs? I started to include microgreens, broccoli, cilantro. Are dandelion greens a good idea? Also, what are your thoughts on CBD, particularly with a cancer diagnosis? That's a
That's
lot, I know. Thank you.
uh okay, well, I wish, maybe we could open the mic in case I do have some questions if
Okay.
he wants to maybe get on. Sometimes that's a little makes things a little quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But did I? Yeah, holistic vet advised to start liver tonic. So that's good. Uh, because Bonnie, because you have a holistic vet, which is awesome. I would also ask her if there's any way she can get some homeopathic remedies for your girl. And maybe Emily can put it in the chat. But we have some homeopathic remedies in a I did a lecture talking about looking at cancer in a different way and and using different homeopathics. So if we don't have that at our fingertips, which we might not, we can all, if you want to put your email in the chat, then I can definitely send that to you. And your vet could, sounds like she's really open to stuff. Either your vet could reach out to customer service and connect your vet with me so that I could maybe speak to her a little more clinically about homeopathic remedies, but what you're on right now is good. The only thing that I would add to this for sure is even though it is leukemia, I would twice a week add the vital defense to that. So do the turkey tail, do the phytosynergy, you're doing everything right for sure. I would just add vital defense to that for sure. And even if it's just twice a week, I would do that. What are my thoughts on CBD, particularly with cancer diagnosis? So CBD is wonderful when it comes to doing, if there's pain or anxiety around that. I'm not a CBD expert, that's for sure. I do know that whatever CBD you're going to use, make sure it's absolutely, without a doubt, 100% the cleanest that you can get um, that doesn't have it's not genetically modified, doesn't have a lot of chemical sprays on it, like pesticides, herbicides, things like that. So stay away from any kind of CBD like that. Uh, you know, CBD dog is a good one. She has a really good product that you could, ask her about things. But my specialty around that is herbs, working with mushrooms for sure. The cancer research that I'm doing at Dell around mushrooms and phytoplankton, and for sure uh, homeopathic medicine. So that is something that I really feel is so incredibly important. So, like I said, if your vet wants to reach out to me, or if you give me, I think you did put it in the chat, and then we can go from there, and I can recommend to your vet some specific remedies for that exact type of cancer.
Julie, she's asked here, um, she asked, like, can I still do the mushrooms with Vital Defense plus probiotics, like Phytophthora love bugs?
Absolutely. But I think, yes, I mean, um, uh,
But what we say, it's not like while taking Vital Defense, not at the same time take
turkey tail, or
the chaga, to not like.
oh no, you can use chaga with anything. It's totally fine. There's no concern about using chaga with any kind of probiotics
No, but
or
I mean mushrooms with Vital Defense plus probiotics. Like, okay.
it's totally fine. Um, but when you're looking at probiotics, love bugs wouldn't necessarily be the one that I would be focusing on. Love bugs is great, but I would be rotating through as many diverse probiotics as you can. So getting as many different microfloras from all different, from ancient bacteria like in our soil and sea to the wolf, which has, like the most pristine gut microbiome on the planet. So I would be rotating through soil and sea, phytophthora, and phytophthora has love bugs in it. So the three probiotics I would be looking at would be the wolf, soil and sea, and phytophthora. And you can just alternate them. Like one day you can go do one, the next day you can do a different one, or you can do 1 week of one, the next week of something else. There's no like rules for rotating them.
Good. Thanks. I'm reading now Yvonne's question. Yvonne's question is a little big, so I'm starting here and then you can roll down a little bit and then you will see the second half of it. So here, last time I was looking for help, I thought my cat's trachea was severely damaged after a dental. Well, turns out my pumpkin has pleural effusion and cranial mediastinal mass. Been using Lasix to help reduce fluid, that dramatically helped him with his breathing, which was really bad. We had to put a feeding tube because although he had the desire to eat, he tried a little and must have been nauseous as he would then turn away. Next event is that he started throwing up while I don't know how to say that, sorry.
Phlegm. White.
Phlegm, throwing up white phlegm, food never comes up. With a horrific retching sound, must hurt. I don't know the cause. Is due the fluid around the lungs, the mass lymphoma. Saturday, we took him back to the vet and started him on Serenia to stop the vomiting. The Serenia slowed it by about half, but now his breathing is really heavy again and he starts to mouth breath once in a while. The mouth breathing is triggered by the tiniest of things that seem to give stress him, even just touching sometimes. He's also constipated and had a hard poop blockade that the vet had. And if you go a little down a little bit, the vet had to palpitate it out. As much as I try to stay holistic, I think he's dealing with so much that I've tried some of these medications to just get him comfortable and in hopes him getting stronger. But boy, Serenia backfired. I'm going to stop giving that, but fear the vomiting will increase again. I'm thinking about trying prednisone to try and shrink manage the cancer and hope that helps resolve some of these issues. He's on a raw diet, and with the feeding tube, I can basically medicate him with anything. Would love any advice or education you can provide to help his situation and to help me decide how to help him. Let me just see if there's anything else, but I guess that's all.
So whatever you do, don't feel guilty about using conventional drugs because there's lots of times you have to. And in a case like this, especially with breathing, you can just be as integrative as you possibly can. So the first thing that comes to mind with me again is homeopathic remedies because they won't interfere with any of the drugs that you're giving, which is really awesome. But if you're putting something in a feeding tube anyways, then the thing that I would be thinking of for him in small amounts to see how he tolerates it. Is he on a feeding tube now? Is he still on the feeding? Is he still having a feeding tube? Okay. Would be to because he's on so many drugs to put liver tonic in the feeding tube. Definitely, I would be using feline gut soothe because it can help with the nausea. It can help with constipation. It can help with a lot of different things and rebalances microbiome. Uh, that would be something that I would add to it. No, you don't do that, please. And okay, my cat's gonna lose it. No, come on. I know you're so funny. Once a feral, I think they always maintain that little bit of feralness. So, uh, but from a homeopathic perspective, you can add turkey tail, you could add vital defense, but I would say from a supplement point of view, I would be using turkey tail, liver tonic, phytosynergy, and gut soothe. That's the from a herbal probiotic supplement perspective, that's what I would be using. From a perspective of the actual uh, pain, fear of not being able to breathe, the the edema, the everything that goes with this mass, I would definitely be doing one of two things. And I just want to make sure that I am gonna recommend my friend Andrea Rain, but I think we've been putting the incorrect email address in for her. So we have to make sure that we just use the Andrea Ring at gmail.com and not her school one. So I definitely would recommend that you do a consultation with her. If you have a vet that you're saying that you try to stay holistic. So there is lots of maybe what we can do the same with Yvonne, Mariana, is if Yvonne puts her email in, once we find the lecture or the uh, ebook or whatever we have, when we talk about cancer, we can send it to her. And it lays out specific homeopathic remedies with that match specific symptoms and also match specific that are indicated for certain types of cancer. So it looks like you don't know exactly which one it is, but it doesn't matter. Just read them all, and then whatever is the most applicable you can use. But we have a remedy called Go To. That's that's something that I would definitely use. So what Go To can do, it's aconite and arnica. And what aconite and arnica is 100% specific in the pharmacopoeia, which is to help decrease, swelling, edema, inflammation. It helps with fear and stress because he seems like he's getting stressed really easy. So it really, really helps him with fear and stress. And then arnica itself can help to, like I said, most masses have, a little bit, especially if it's rubbing on something. What my experience is, so if your vet says do the pred, do all of that, but the homeopathic remedies will add to his comfort, will change him energetically. There's so many benefits to working with homeopathy and cancer. I can't even tell you. Cancer was one of the number one things that we worked with at my clinics. So homeopathy is just for me the kind of the be all and end all of treatment, and especially even from a perspective of it being integrative. Like I worked with people from Guelph University, oncologists from big specialty vet hospitals, and the reason that they were open to homeopathy is because there's no contraindications with any drugs, so they don't have to worry about that. But for the vomiting, remedies called phosphorus is really good for nausea and vomiting. Nux vomica is really good, especially if he did have a reaction to Serenia. So you could just go in right away until you could talk to Andrea and get more specific remedies, or get the information from us. But if you could get the go-to, our go-to, and Nux vomica 30C and phosphorus 30C. And if you could give that, just routinely give that 3 times a day for maybe, I would say a week, and see how he does on it for about a week. If obviously if he seems worse, then you would stop it right away. And sometimes it's nice to just give the go-to for a few days, see how he does with that, and then add the Nux vomica, see how he does with the three, then add the phosphorus, so that we're really seeing what's doing what. But yeah, this kind of pathology, you really want to deal with pain, inflammation, and fear, and anything that you can do to help him breathe easier. So.
Ivoni asked earlier, like before her message here, how much of the your go-to?
How much? What I would do is I would put 4 pumps in a glass of water, and I would mix like zero point 0.5 mLs in his feeding tube. Or let's say he's having an episode where he can't breathe. The nice thing is you could take, half a teaspoon, you could take zero point 0.5 mils, and you can just put it on his gums. He doesn't even have to swallow it. In fact, it's better that he doesn't swallow it. So if you can just, even put a Q-tip in and dab it on his gums, or if that doesn't stress him out too much, or just lift up his lip and dribble it inside his mouth, it when he's having like an attack or when he's having like a stressful moment, you could just give it to him right away. And
Mm,
in this case, CBD might be good as well. You know, you could reach out to Angela with CBD dog and talk to her about it.
amazing. Thanks, Julie. Let me see. Susan, both of my dogs are raw fed and get water buffalo yogurt or sheep kefir. Both dig in the yard and eat the dirt and roots of plants. Should I add any additional pre probiotic?
I would definitely like what you're feeding is great, really great, especially water buffalo yogurt is really good. It's hard to find, but it's excellent. The thing, my thing with food and probiotics, especially if they're when they dig in to eat for dirt, they're needing. It's like their body's telling them they either need beneficial bacteria or they need a soil-based bacteria, or they're needing a mineral of some kind. But what's very interesting is that the bacteria in the gut is what create, which is the bacteria in the gut is what allows the body to convert food and the minerals into the food into minerals in the body. So if you don't have the correct microbiome, you can be feeding really great food and it doesn't convert properly. So that would be one thing. The other thing that is, you know, very important to realize is that um, unfortunately, our soils and things aren't what they used to be. So when we're feeding vegetables and even when we're feeding, you know, a raw food diet, the cattle, the buffalo, the sheep, they're not getting the bacteria that they would normally have gotten 100 years ago through grass when they're eating grass. And when our vegetables are being planted and grown, they aren't getting the same quality of bacteria that they did 100 years ago, which then means that the nutrient value is often different. So that's why probiotics for me isn't a supplement. I feel like probiotics is something that should be fed, but importantly rotated. So not the same thing day in and day out. That's why we have so many probiotics, so that you can continue to rotate them. So, you know, long answer to a very short question, other than the opposite. Yes, I would be adding pre and probiotics. And the other thing that you could definitely add is phytoplankton. So phytoplankton, because it smells so fishy, people think it's like a fish, and it's not. It is an ocean. It's a water single cell organism that has incredible amounts of amino acids and minerals. So that would be something that you might want to look at adding as well. So for sure, pre and probiotics. Since you're already on buffalo, and since you're already feeding raw and sheep kefir, and you're kind of very, you know, you're doing an excellent job being in that ancestral kind of diet. It might be really interesting to start your dog off with our wolf probiotic.
Thanks, Julie. Lily is asking, this is the shortest one, I guess. What would help an enlarged prostate?
So there's lots to help enlarge prostate. So from a perspective of uh, you know, supplement wise, there are you can actually find them. There's prostate. My dog had a large enlarged prostate, and I used a company called Signature Supplements. I don't know whether Lily you're in Canada or you're in the United States, but many like sal palmetto, things like that, many things that men can take in a prostate supplement, so can dogs. So you would just have to look at the supplement, take a picture, go online and look at if all of the ingredients in that supplement is safe for dogs. But it is like saw palmetto and lots of different herbs are very good for enlarged prostates. But turkey tail is really good. I turkey tail was an important part when my dog's prostate was enlarged. Definitely probiotics because it deals with hormones, right? So if the again, I know I'm talking a lot about guts today, but uh, when the gut doesn't have the correct microbiome, it doesn't translate and it doesn't speak the right languages to the direct systems of the body. So we all know the gut-brain axis. Well, there's the gut-brain axis, there's the gut hormone, in your dog's case, gut hormone axis. So it's something that is really, really important that his hormones are being released and balanced, and that has something to do with the gut a lot of times. So definitely, and again, what probiotic would I use? I would probably use the wolf one because that would have been from an intact animal, right? Not from an animal that's been spayed or neutered. And that would be something that I would look at. But definitely lots of antioxidants. So phytoplankton, liver tonic to be sure that everything is functioning well when it comes to the portal system. And homeopathic remedies are incredible. So remedies like pulsatilla, conium, arnica, uh, are really good. If you're having a real problem, again, probably wouldn't take a big long consultation to have a conversation with Andrea Ring, but uh, the remedies that I'm thinking of immediately are conium, arnica, and pulsatilla. And then you can also ask your vet if this is a really bad one, like if this is a really bad situation. I don't know whether you can do a test. You can actually do a urine test to find out what's going on with the prostate. And there is a drug that they use in men that they did do research on dogs that worked quite well if it comes to that. If they're saying that you need to neuter him, which they might be saying to you that you, oh, Lil, is it okay to feed Slice sweet potatoes daily? Yes, that's fine. Um, but there's a lot. There really is a lot you can do. There's a ton you can do for enlarged prostates. Like I said, my dog had that, and we were able to manage it quite well. He actually had uh, a tumor in his prostate, so we were able to manage it for a long time. I'm not sure how old your dog is or what your vets are recommending, but if you don't want to neuter him, there's lots of there are drugs out there. There's different things that you can use.
Thank you, Julie. Amanda also had, not also because the last two were not that long, so Amanda has a long one. But the second half, it's right above, so that's fine. Amanda, so my 9-year-old male beagle had to have 9 teeth extracted 2 weeks ago. The cause was root resorption. Are you able to speak about this? Trying to figure out what the cause was or is. The dental specialist was shocked at how quickly the teeth resorbed within 17 months. Some possibilities I can think of include trauma from very hard kibble he ate at couple of years, grinding his teeth while sleeping, low vitamin D levels, high vitamin E levels, and cancer drugs he was given while he was used in medical research. He didn't have tartar on the majority of the teeth that were removed.
Yeah.
Most of the extractions were upper teeth, and his breath still smells bad. He also has a small fibrous liver. thoughts on how to put any of these puzzle pieces together. I did find it interesting that our primary vet said that the majority of animals they see with root resorption are cats. This makes me consider the vitamin D levels since many cats are indoors and don't get enough sunlight. Our dog's vitamin D deficient currently. Also, if you are able to recommend any supplements to help protect further erosion on his jaw and teeth, that would be greatly appreciated.
So I don't think you'll ever know what the exact reason is, but what I would do is constant you have a lot of information, which is great. So how I would look at that is exactly you're doing excellent, by the way. Like, you're really digging into this and you're doing a great job. Um, so I'm going to go through it sort of list by list. So you talked about trauma. So from a perspective of trauma, I would be using arnica. I would be definitely doing arnica, and you can just, buy it very easily from us with our go-to remedy, has arnica and aconite in it. And the reason that I say aconite is they actually give aconite for PTSD. So they use aconite for trauma from way long time ago, and arnica. So constitutional prescribing from really brilliant human homeopaths when I was going to school in England. I remember a case of a boy who was really sick with I can't even remember what it was. It was a really it wasn't MS, but it was something like MS. But they were giving all kinds of things and remedies, and it wasn't until a homeopath found out about his prior years and found out that when he was 15, he was beat up and thrown into a canal and almost froze to death in this canal. And he treated him as if he would have treated him right from the very beginning if he had come in with this trauma. So he treated him like that accident just happened, like beat up, hypothermia, the whole 9 yards, and this child completely, well, this young man completely recovered, I think 11 years later. So I would do the same thing with your dog because we're not going to be able to go, yes, this definitely was the reason, but you do have really good info. So arnica and aconite from the trauma of eating really hard kibble, but also the trauma of being a research beagle, which is phenomenally traumatizing. So I would be looking at doing that homeopathic remedy. I was going to ask you if you checked his vitamin D. If he has low vitamin D, definitely give him the vitamin D. When you look at cats, which we're talking about cats have this really odd autoimmune disease where their mouths also their bodies become allergic to their saliva. And I think that has a lot to do with food and all kinds of things, including being completely suppressed by never getting outside. So, I think you're on the right track too, but what's very interesting, if those cats aren't getting out, that's also very unnatural. And beagles are kept in cages, they're kept inside when they're doing the research. So again, you're really on good levels or on a good track. So if his D levels are low, I would definitely be giving him vitamin D. And then the other thing that's interesting is when you're saying that he has a small fibrous liver, that he was given chemotherapy drugs. Chemotherapy drugs can do the wackiest thing, including some drugs are incredibly hard on bone. So I don't know what kind of cancer drugs he was given. It really doesn't matter at this point. But a homeopathic remedy called Nux vomica and fulvic and humic acid. So we have two products with fulvic and humic acid in it. One is Phytosflora, and Soil and Sea has it in as well, which are two different probiotics that I would really recommend because it helps with, again, he was fed not very good food. So, and he was also given a lot of drugs. So I'm sure his microbiome is toast. And 100% bacteria in their mouths has a huge correlation with the bacteria in their gut. So you want to start his gut, getting his gut healthy again for sure. And those would be two of the Phytosflora and Soil and Sea would be the two probiotics that I would recommend right away with him because of the fulvic and humic acid is really good for if they've had different kinds of drugs and chemicals. Saying that, now what you want to do is try to reduce that moving forward with the rest of his teeth. So, homeopathic remedy called calc fleur and calc phos and calc carb. So those are three remedies. I don't know if somebody can be writing that in the chat. Emily probably could write in fleur is Flour, or FLUR is fine too. Yeah. FLOU. It's almost like flour, but calc fleur. Uh, and I'm reading what Emily's writing. Calc, it looks like flour, but it depends on if it's Boiron or Homeocan or which, but calc FLAU something, you're on the right track. And calc phos, so calc and then PHOS. And you want to get those in very low potencies, like 12C, and you can make a liquid out of them, out of the pellets, and you can pour every 3 days. So you could put four pellets of this in his water or in water. Um, every 3 days, you make a new batch, but put four of each one, let them dissolve, and put about a tablespoon in his food, uh, 3 times a day. That's what I would do. And that can really be incredibly helpful for helping to secure the bone. The other really, really good thing is our jump for joints. So our jump for joints has something called symphytum in it, which is knit bone. Has ruta in it, which is incredible for the integrity of the roots and for any of the um, uh, periosteum, so which is like the lining of the bone of the tooth. It's really, and it's got arnica in it, which also is, we're talking about the trauma and stuff. So I would do those remedies along with jump for joints with them from a homeopathic perspective. And I don't know what food he's on now, but if you can get him on a really high quality raw diet would be also really, really helpful. You're muted.
Sorry, I'm just getting all the Adore Beast remedies that you mentioned, the supplements. Um, but I can put in the chat right after I read the next one. So Jessica is asking here, my 12-year-old cat currently has stage 3 kidney disease. He is on a Verazine for his anemia and suffers from pretty regular constipation. I have noticed he has been eating dirt and wonder if you have any insight on this.
So this is so not, so definitely we have a really amazing kidney disease. Mariana, is it in a book? Is it a book or is it a YouTube? It's on YouTube. I'm pretty
YouTube,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe somebody can put that in the chat for her, please. Our kidney disease, anything to do with kidney disease that we have. We have a lot of information on kidney disease, including what uh is that oh, she said I've watched it. Okay, great. Go back and watch it and look at stage 3, and there's homeopathic remedies and everything on that. When it comes to the dirt, so this is not science, but I saw it in my practice more times than you could even imagine, and not just with kidney disease, but often when cats, because it's not that normal for cats, but really normal for dogs to eat dirt, not that normal for cats to eat dirt. And every time I've ever seen a cat coming into my clinic, or all the feral cats that I dealt with at my practice, or even our barn cats or anything like that, like for the last 30 years, uh what I always have seen most often is anemia. So they'll lick concrete, they'll try to chew on concrete, they'll eat dirt, and so many times, I'm not saying that every single time, but so many times they can be anemic. And in stage 3 kidney disease, they can have anemia.
Mm.
So I'm wondering if potentially this kitty is anemic. I'm not sure what um, uh, I'm not sure what what you're feeding this cat, but kidneys are, oh, he does have anemia there. So that's, I'll bet you anything that is why he's eating dirt. And so that's minerals. I don't know if your kitty would eat phytosynergy, but that could really, really help. And the other thing that could really help is feeding your cat kidney. So actually giving kidney to it, like raw kidney, because it can really help. He's on glandulars. That's awesome. But there's nothing, traditional Chinese medicine, they believe very strongly that you feed the organ in which is diseased, right? So if you have eye disease, they fed, you know, fish eyeballs and pig eyeballs and things like that. So I did use kidney, raw kidney, slices of raw fresh kidney to a lot of our kidney disease kitties, and they did quite well on it, and they really liked it. Okay, actually feed kidney. Go and make sure that you try to get organic if you can. Um, and
How
it should
much she's
be how
asking
much?
for?
A really small, they don't need a lot, because you're probably going to have to get, like, you want red meat kidneys. Well, you could potentially have chicken, but red meat kidney is better. It's so hard to get a hold of. I know. I know. It is hard, but if you can get it, then I would get it. Or I think Standard Process has a really heavy duty glandular. Um, a kidney, that's the one he's on. Yeah, that's good. So I don't know if you could increase it potentially, but I would try to get kidneys. I would try, and when I say a small amount, I like chop it up. Even if you got one, chop it up really, really, or even liver, it's not a kidney, but liver is very helpful with anemia. Make sure that it's grass-fed, no antibiotics, organic if you can. And you chop it up and then freeze it and then thaw it. And I would just give like a teaspoon of it. Think about how big a kidney in a mouse would be. It's kind of what you want to do. So you would give, like, just a tiny, maybe half a teaspoon of it, and just do that. Yeah, you can keep them on gut soothe for sure. hmm Um, and someone said my cat was anemic and he liked chicken hearts. Well, chicken hearts has a lot of taurine, like the heart. Well, not as much taurine as red meat. That's the problem with chicken.
And
But
also liver, she mentioned, Annalise.
yeah, yeah. So got mouse kidney. Everyone, okay, yeah. So mouse or cat food. Yep, yep. All those suggestions are good. For me, if you can get it raw and chop it up when it's fresh and freeze it, is the best way, in really small amounts, and start slow. Like give your kitty, a half a teaspoon, wait 4 or 5 days, see how you feel, see how he's doing. Is his poops okay? He's not vomiting, he's not being acting odd. And then do it. And then, I would say like every other day, if he's doing well on it, is enough.
Thanks, Julie. Rebecca has a longer question, and than the others. I'm sorry, Rebecca, for saying that, but there's three pieces of the question. So um, I have a 3 years and a half King Charles Cavalier Spaniel, 10 pounds. Before I got her, she was apparently very sick when she was only a few weeks old. I was told she had a very high fever and lost all of her hair. She has struggled with itching as long as I have had her, and it has progressively gotten worse. I tried Cytopoint a few times and it eventually stopped working. I have changed her food from kibble to either raw or freeze-dried raw for over a year. I tried the ECB's protocol twice without any,
Where
I
is
don't
it?
know, any results. Maybe I don't know because it's
Oh,
just
I see. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
she has
probably.
gotten the point where she is itching and licking her hair off. She always licks her paws and legs and belly and has pretty much licked her hair off of those areas. She has itched her chest so aggressively that she has gotten a massive hot spot 3 times this year. The only thing that makes her stop itching is a steroid shot, and it only keeps her from itching a maximum of 4 days. I started her on the relief protocol about 3 weeks ago. I also gave her Arnica 30C daily for a week after her
Latest hotspot.
yes, latest hotspot and the beginning of at the beginning of September. The arnica seemed to help a little bit. I started giving it to her again a few days ago when her itching got worse. It doesn't seem to help this time, and I can tell she's about to give herself another hotspot. Can I give her a higher dosage? Can I give her a certain dosage daily? Do you have any other thoughts on how I can help my sweet girl? It's just hard to see her be so miserable.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm imagine. That is that it?
I think so. I couldn't find anything else, despite seems to be like cut at the end, but I guess
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay. So I'm trying to find it again. Okay, there we go. You can definitely give her a higher dose for sure. Um, Yeasty Beast is a tough one. It's an incredible product, but if you don't sort of have your ducks in a row prior to, and if your dog has a real abundance of yeast and you're not kind of trying to balance it out, if the yeast die-off happens, you know, it can exacerbate the symptoms, meaning because the yeast is just dying too quickly, and it looks like the dog is getting worse, but really what's happening is having a Herx reaction. So I would what I would do with this, I don't know how close you are to your vet, but the prednisone shot looks like it's working. If it's really this bad, and I don't often say this, but what I would probably do is go to your vet if she's that miserable. I would go to your vet and and potentially talk about either Venectal P or prednisone, right? Rather than Cytopoint or Atopica or any of those. It's prednisone is more, it's not natural, but it's probably the closest natural thing of all of the immune suppressive drugs. And it's also the one I've had the most success with at our practices, um, really weaning off slowly. So don't go with the thought in mind, oh, I'm going to put it on him on a drug, or I'm going to ask the vet to put him on the drug and it's going to go away, because it is absolutely not going to go away. The symptoms will be alleviated. The stress reduction, the reason that you would do this is to start decreasing your dog's stress so that its cortisol level starts to drop so that it's not so stressed. But you have to be doing everything concurrently with this. So you would have to, like, what I would probably do with something like this is the I would probably do, if you do start your pup on, either I would call under a ring again, with the thing is in the chat, or what I would do is I would probably do not the relief protocol. I wouldn't do the relief protocol with the yeasty beast. You could do the relief protocol, but keep the yeasty beast out. Don't do the yeasty beast, and always make sure that you're doing um, liver tonic. I would definitely put phytoplankton and turkey tail into that mix. And then you 100% can get our go-to, and you can you can give your puppy go-to 3 to 4 times a day. Then I would also get Nux vomica and be giving Nux vomica at the same time. That helps to alleviate the side effects of the drugs. And the minute your dog becomes balanced at the same time as you're giving everything, that you really need to have a really heart-to-heart conversation with your vet and ask if, because lots of vets are doing it now. When I started, recommending it to vets and things like that, they thought I flew in on a broom, but like almost titrate it. So you're taking it down in such incremental amounts that it's almost like the body doesn't know you're taking him off of it. So you want to use the drug of choice, which, could potentially be pred, and start everything that I was saying. I would definitely do a test with Gene Dodds. I would have a saliva test done with Gene Dodds to see what he is probably reactive to. I would remove every single thing out of his diet that he's reactive to, so that you're giving the body a chance to calm down, not have added reactions that you already know that they're sensitive or reactive to. Put everything in that I just recommended. So the leaky gut protocol, phytoplankton, don't go off of liver tonic, stay on liver tonic. Uh, um, what else did I say? Phytoplankton. Um, oh my gosh.
Your
Random.
go-to liver
Those
tonic.
liver tonic, oh, so do the that's what I was saying. Do the relief protocol, but don't use the yeasty beast. So get and add phytoplankton and turkey tail, actually, because turkey tail has an immune modulating effect. Once you have all that on board, you're not feeding him a diet that he's allergic or reactive to. Hopefully, his cortisol levels are going to come down. He's going to calm down. And then what I would say, once he is much, much calmer, maybe even some hairs growing back, you want to ask your vet if it's possible that you can take him off of it microscopically, like not just your regular reduction of the way they do pred, but literally microdose it down. And that way you don't get a rebound effect. A lot of vets don't like doing it, but I've seen it done in all my clinics. I've seen it done since then in other clinics. I've spoken to vets that do it now, do it that way. And then, because what happens is when you use Pred, Atopica, Cytopoint, whatever, here's the disease. It's like, really bad. You take this immunosuppressive drug and you push it down, right? Or you wrap it with duct tape. When the duct tape comes off, then the hole in the pipe, if it's a hole in the pipe, it bursts even more because it's not healing underneath. It's just being suppressed. Or when you take the drug off, you're pushing the disease down. When the disease comes back, it has a rebound effect. So it rebounds all the way back and even worse than it was originally. So you don't want to do that, and you want to try your best to take a little tiny bit off and let the body adjust. Take a little tiny bit more off, let the body adjust. Take a little tiny bit more off so the body gets used to when the disease is there, you're adding all of this integrative approach. You're still continuing to make sure that um, you're not giving your dog anything that's reactive from a food perspective. The other thing is I would go out and buy a whole bunch of 100% cotton sheets. Wash them, make sure you wash them, just wash them with water, even don't wash them even with soap, and dry them and put those sheets everywhere you can find it. The other thing you can do is cross contaminate or cross, you know, you take a towel from your own body, for your own body before you have a shower, you wipe yourself down as much as you can with a towel. And then you lie those towels strategically, everyone in the household. So when your dog's lying on that towel, your skin microbiome helps to um, uh, blend with your dogs and strengthen their skin microbiome. And you don't want them on anything synthetic because it breeds yeast and it breeds pathogenic bacteria. So you want to make sure that he's on as much cotton as you possibly can. And, hopefully you can find a vet that will help you microdose whatever drug they decide to put on. Like I said, my experience has been prednisone works the best that way, but I'm not, I can't say that to you. You really, really need to work with your vet to make this successful if he's that bad.
Thank you, Julie. Robin is asking, what do you recommend for a spayed 9-year-old GSD with suspected degenerative?
Where am I? Hold on. Where are
Oh,
you?
sorry.
Sorry.
The question below the Rebecca, the first, go
Oh,
up to the first
do you have
Rebecca.
any advice for the Daschhoud? That one? Oh no, where am I? Oh, here we go. Here we
Okay,
go.
yeah.
Robin.
Robin, yes. What do you recommend for a spayed 9-year-old GSD with suspected degenerative myelopathy? Do I give turkey tail and lion's mane separately or feed in the same meal? Walks? What about aminocaproic acid? Thank you.
Well, um, turkey tail, so anything that's degenerative, you want to get as much antioxidants in the body as you possibly can. You want to make sure that the gut's healthy so the antioxidants can actually do its job and help with oxidative stress to slow down the degenerative process. You want to make sure that you're giving something that has immune modulated effects so that it doesn't increase the immune system, but it doesn't decrease the immune system. So our wolf does that, has been proven to do that. Our Phytophthora, all those two have actually science-based in vitro and in vivo studies that they are immune modulating, and so is turkey tail. So you definitely want to you can do lion's mane and turkey tail together. Um, that's not a problem. You can feed mushrooms together. That isn't a problem. Um, um, I mean the ACA is good, but the other thing that I would say is there are phenomenal homeopathic remedies. So, um, I would be doing, like I said, I would be doing the probiotics. I would be doing turkey tail for sure. I would do phytosynergy because that has the strongest amount of SOD known to man, which is superoxide dismutase, which is an incredibly potent um, antioxidants for the oxidative stress that's happening with the myelopathy. And then there are interesting, and I'm going to mention this remedy again, conium, arnica, and phosphoric acid and causticum are the homeopathic remedies that I had the most success with this particular problem at the clinic. So you could reach out to a homeopathic vet. Again, you could reach out to Andrea, but I just don't know how much time she has. She's very, very booked up. But start with our aconite and arnica, and you can go and purchase a remedy called causticum. I would probably start with causticum, and it's spelled Causticum, 30C, and give it twice a day for a while and see how that goes. As far as walks, definitely walk this dog, but don't walk long. So I would always say short walks keeps the muscles in the brain engaged, but you don't want to go such long walks that you're exhausting the muscles. That's contraindicated. What's really great for that is swimming, osteopathy. Um, there's lots of physio to keep, swimming is incredible for that because it keeps the muscles moving without the weight on it.
Julie, uh, could you also recommend Vital Defense? Because you mentioned a lot about some things that I know that Vital Defense is good for.
Yeah. Yeah, vital defense would be really good as well. If you do vital defense, then you don't have to do phytoplankton. And if you did vital defense, you wouldn't necessarily have to do lion's mane. I would still add turkey tail though.
Good. Jim is asking here, we have a 18-year-old Tibetan Terrier that suffers from Sandbower's CCD and pays and barks. He also has an eye infection. Our 9-year-old small terrier mixed female, who we think has Cushing but hasn't been tested. She has a pot belly and ravenous appetite. Anything you can help us with would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Jim and Carol Duff.
Both dogs could be on go-to for sure. Both dogs definitely could be on liver tonic. Um, there is a Cushing's protocol that I don't homeopathic one that I don't think you can purchase. You could ask Andrea if you could just purchase the protocol from her rather than waiting for her to do a consult with you because she is so incredibly booked. But she might just be able to send out the protocol in the mail. It's a great one. But homeopathic, paces and barks. Honestly, the 18-year-old, I would try arnica. I would try go-to. That just to see. I would just use go-to and literally nothing else. I would keep giving what you normally give. But just to see, I would do it 3 times a day, ongoing for a little bit, and see if it slows down. The Cushing's potential Cushing one, um, you definitely use liver tonic, but and you can call Andrea, but a homeopathic remedy called just regular phosphorus and 30C twice a day for a week and see if the appetite starts to decline, if the it probably has increased thirst too. If thirst and if it has PUPD, which is polydipsia polyuria, where they drink and urinate a lot, and see if that reduces at all. Um, but I would try those homeopathic remedies on them for sure. Liver tonic for sure for the potential Cushings. And it's immune mediated. So any of our homeopathic or any of our probiotics that have an immune modulation, which is the wolf and Phytophthora has that. And also turkey tail because of the immune modulation piece of it. And then those remedies, phosphorus and and you could just do go to and phosphorus would be fine.
I'm trying to put everything. Sorry, Amanda, do you have any advice for Daschhound that is having back pain, currently on pain meds and crate rest? Thank you. Oh,
So I think that, diet for sure. If you can get a raw food diet just to just strengthen everything about the dog in general. Our go-to is really, really good, and you could give it, if it's acute like this, you could give it 5 times a day. Go-to. Um, because it has a higher dose of arnica in it than our not go-to, sorry, jump for joints. Has a
I was
higher
gonna ask about jump for joints.
Yeah, it has a higher dose of arnica, but go-to would be really good morning and night because if he's in a crate, he's probably going to be stressed. I'd reach out to Angela for potentially for CBD. So CBD dog is what CBD for back stuff like that, and also remedies call that remedy that I was saying before called causticum. It's really good for that, but lots and lots of jump for joints, and you can get red light therapy for your dog because Dachshunds aren't massively big. If some maybe Emily can put in the chat what red light therapy I recommend, and you can buy a small unit for what did I say they were? 390, was it 399 or 299? I think
I
390.
think the smallest, the
Small.
good, the smallest. I think it was 299, but the other one that you mentioned that it was the
Fair one,
like the
399.
better size, it was
Yeah,
399. Yes.
99. And it's really incredible. Very amazing for things like spinal injuries and ACLs, and I use it on my horses if they're at all colicky. It's really, really good. So that's what I would recommend. And I would probably leave this. I don't know how old this dog is, but I would probably leave this puppy on jump for joints once a day, even when he's back to normal. And he can go back to normal. Osteopathy is incredible for discs and things like that. Really, really, if you have an osteopath anywhere nearby, that's really awesome as well. But they can completely recover. My mom had a dog rescue, and she was very partial to Dobermans and Dachshunds. And we had, I don't know how many Dachshunds in my lifetime. And almost all of them, because they were rescues, had back stuff. And homeopathy can do phenomenal things for their backs.
Julie, just a question. The causticum that you mentioned is Causticum.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Thank you. Donna is asking here, blastomycosis. I'm wondering what your thoughts are using vital defense for this fungal disease. I have heard that chemo has been used in the human space, and this led me think that vital defense might be an option along with additional medicinal mushroom support.
Yeah. So definitely. Donna. And what's interesting is that when you think of chaga and you think of fungus, chaga really is a fungus rather than a mushroom. So vital defense would be excellent for that. And then you have the superoxide dismutase to try through the phytoplankton to try and rev up the immune system to actually fight it. The other homeopathic remedy that's really, really good for this is Thuya. So you could use our rebalancer with this, and you could use that rebalancer like 3 times a day, just ongoing. Um, and fungus can play a number on the liver, so I would be using liver tonic as well. So absolutely for sure, vital defense, rebalancer, and liver tonic. 100%. Good. That's a good call.
Amazing. Thank you. Um, Annie is asking, my 7-year-old, 67 pound Labrador was diagnosed with idiopathic sterile. Oh, this is a big one.
Or
Fi it's
uh,
it's
Pyogranulomatous.
Yes, in July. After many tests and misdiagnosis of cancer, it was confirmed through biopsy and aspiration.
Okay.
She was put on steroids and granulomas shrunk. She started at 40 milligram a day and is now at 7.5 milligram a day, with a goal to come off steroids completely. What can I give her to support her immune system to help prevent the disease from flaring up? She
Yeah.
is fed gently cooked food, all provide small batch California dog kitchen, etc. I took her off raw when there was talk of stronger immunosuppressants. I give her algal oil every other day. I rotate the 4 ABA probiotics each day, jump for joints, use UC2 collagen. Filtered water, no vaccine for the last 1.5 years and is now exempt from them. No flea meds. I guess that's all. Let me just. Yes, I guess she was just giving the whole contest.
Yeah. Granular. Okay. So you're doing exceptionally well. Three things that I would recommend from ABA on top of this would be um, rebalancer because thuya and silica are really good for any um, granulation, mass, uh, um, uh, over. It's thuya is always given when things are too much. So overproduction, which is also, autoimmune diseases. So I would do rebalancer twice a day. Actually, I would do rebalancer 3 times a day for a week and then twice a day for maybe the entire time that she's on the immune suppressive drugs. And the other thing I would do is I would do vital defense and liver tonic. So those would be the three that I would add to, you're doing the oil, you're doing the probiotics, the jump for joints, collagen, all that stuff. But when you have um, it's called the psychotic miasm. That's what it's literally called. Then you want Thuya is one of the number one. Uh, they also found gallstones. What did she say? They also found gallstones.
Gallstones, yeah, on
Yeah.
her CT.
So if they found gallstones, and you're thinking gallstone sludge, so definitely the rebalancer for sure. I would do vital defense, liver tonic 100% because it really, really supports the gallbladder and the liver. And then we do have um, in our easy peasy protocol. I don't think we sell the liquid on its own, but we have a homeopathic product in our easy peasy protocol that has a homeopathic remedy in it called hydrangea. And hydrangea is used help to support the dissolving. Oh, you have easy peasy protocol. Awesome. Is she on the liquid every day? And if so, how many times a day? No, she
No.
should be. Yeah, she should be. That'll really help. That could potentially really help with the gallstones. So I would get her on the easy peasy liquid. And yeah, and now that you've got an actual diagnosis, you're doing everything right. You are doing definitely everything right. And there is and it was a very good any ABA probiotics in particular. Can you write in there what her symptoms were? Can you write in the chat what her symptoms were?
Fever,
Fever. That's it? Oh,
granulomas,
where were the granulomas? Loss of
loss of appetite, on the chest.
granulomas in her chest. Okay. Okay. So you also
They
found
also found in lungs.
okay. Hmm. Well, I know that if that's why they thought it was cancer. Yeah, that makes sense. You know what then? I would be giving this dog vital defense. So I wouldn't worry too much about what I would go through all of our I would go through all of our probiotics. Don't over uh analyze it. You can go through Wolf, Soil and Sea, Phytos Flora, and Gut Soothe. So the four, you can just rotate through them and you're good. I would be giving this dog our vital defense. I would definitely be giving her liver tonic. I would also give her rebalancer, jump for joints, and I think I would also give her go to. Because if it's in her lungs, it could potentially, um, you know, gut soothe is good because of N-acetylglucosamine. So it helps to, whatever these granulomas are adhered to, which is like mucosal lining, it will help to decrease inflammation of the mucosal lining, which should help to um, reduce the inflammatory response in general, be supportive. Can, oh, can you use red light therapy for? Yeah, yeah, you can use red light therapy for sure. But this is a better diagnosis than cancer, so that's good. And if we look at it as this being a psychotic miasm, which is for whatever reason the body is overproducing granular masses, and Thuya is excellent. Is excellent for that. So that would be from a perspective of Adored Beast products, what I would be adding.
Amanda is asking here, any advice for cataracts?
Well, again, lots of antioxidants, right? Right, oxidative stress, antioxidants, immune modulators, turkey tail, or vital defense would be something that I would be looking at. And like man, am I ever talking about go-to a lot? Uh, like because of arnica, right? So arnica would be really good, and so is silica and thuya, because cataracts are also too much, right? So I would, yeah, I would be doing liver tonic, vital defense, rebalancer, and go to.
Lily's asking what would help urine incontinence?
Depends on what it's from. So, unfortunately, we used to have remedies called spay and neuter protocol, and it was homeopathic. If it was for a female dog, it would have been homeopathic ovaries, or if a cat, um, homeopathic for female cat ovaries, and then testes, canine and feline. But if it's from urine incontinence, protein, right? I don't know how old this dog is, or if, I'm pretty sure it would be a dog. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. But Lily, are you still here? Um,
Let me see. Yeah,
girl age
girl, age
12.
12.
Is she spayed? Probably spayed. Um,
Sprayed
I
and it has vaginitis. Yes.
Oh, and she has vaginitis too. Interesting. All right. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna. So sometimes when they're 12, they go on like a less protein diet. You have to make sure that they have enough protein because the sphincter sometimes when they aren't absorbing their protein correctly or their amino acids correctly, then the sphincter muscle gets weak. The sphincter muscle gets weak, and then bacteria goes up, and they can get bladder infections, vaginitis. Definitely um, easy peasy, so that we're helping to deal with like that making trying to make sure that the vaginitis doesn't turn into a UTI. So I would put her on easy peasy. And then I would put her on phytoplankton because of the amino acids. And I would add, um, make sure that she's got, really, really clean raw protein in her diet. And if there's any way you could get you can reach out to Andrea again to see if Andrea could send you a luteinizing hormone and the canine spay, which is the ovaries. That's really helpful. And then I would go get her a homeopathic remedy called pulsatilla and get a 30C pulsatilla and get a 30C phosphoric acid and give put 2 pellets of each one in a glass of water, put a lid on it, and give her a tablespoon of that in her food 3 times a day. And every 3 days you're gonna have to make a fresh batch. And yeah, and try that. Try doing that with her for you can let customer service know how she's doing on that. And there's you know, pulsatilla and phosphoric acid have been, well documented for vaginitis and for spay incontinence. So those are two homeopathic remedies that I would recommend getting. along with along with phytosynergy for sure.
Thanks, Julie. Michelle is asking, my 25-pound Labradoodle just finished a detox with a bottle of liver tonic. She's on monthly flea heartworm med. Should she take liver tonic after each dose, or how to use liver tonic?
Yes, 100%. She should take liver tonic after each dose, and she should stay on it for twice a day for a week for at a minimum. If she's getting it, yeah, if she's getting it monthly, she should be on it. Like honestly, it with flea stuff, I would 1 week, 10 days, 2 weeks is what I would be doing after each treatment. And I would also be getting homeopathic Nux vomica just a 30C, and giving her 2 pills twice a day for 2 days after each treatment as well, for sure. And then flea treatment definitely does a number on the microbiome. So probably Phytophthora because you'll get the support then with the fulvic and humic acid. So try to make sure she's on Phytophthora as well.
Do you think you have time for another one?
Yep.
Amanda's asking about the colloidal silver. Colloidal silver says it can be used to treat ear infections, but there are no instructions on how or how much to use for ear infections in the dosage. What else would you advise for ear infections?
Emily, do we have an ear blog? See if Emily, yeah, we do. Okay, one sec. So Emily's gonna put an ear blog in an ear blog, a blog that we wrote about ear like working with ear stuff. Um, so yes, colloidal silver can be used. There's a really good product that you can buy on Amazon. I think, no, I don't know if you can get it on Amazon anymore. It's called Zymox. Just don't get the one that has hydrocortisone in it. Oh, there we go. Emily said Judy usually has it. Okay, so Dr. Judy, you could probably get it off of her website. It's excellent for chronic ear infections. And what else is really, really good for chronic ear infections is our go-to and rebalancer, using those two together 3 times a day for 10 days at the same time that you're using either the colloidal silver or the Zymox. Like try to do it all together. And the one again, turkey tail, vital defense, uh, ramping up that antioxidant level to try and deal with like the pathogenic bacteria or the fungus, whatever is in the ear. But definitely probiotics um, and antioxidants.
Oh, I know I said that it
I know, I saw it too. Go ahead.
I liked because she's been asking this for a
Yes.
while. So Tiffany, hi everyone. I asked this question during last month's Q&A as well as via email, but no one ever responded after the initial confirmation email from an ABA team member. I would love your perspective on regenerative versus surgical options for dogs with osteoarthritis from hip dysplasia. My 7.5-year-old GSD mix was diagnosed in February 2023, and while we have had some success with holistic support, supplements, acupuncture, laser, PT, hydrotherapy, I know we will likely need to consider more advanced interventions down the road. Specifically, I would love your thoughts on stem cell therapy, PRP injections, total hip replacement, and femoral head ostectomy. Right now, she's on an extensive supplement regime that helps manage inflammation and mobility, but I want to better understand how or when to transition from these supportive measures to more invasive options to maintain her long-term quality of life. Let me just check if there's anything else. But no, I think that's all.
Okay. Um, I guess I would say, well, you know, what was the name of the book of the last special? Maybe Emily can put it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna to ask Emily because I bet she
Emily,
knows by
can you
heart.
put the name of the book in our chat, Jen's book?
Jen's book, yeah.
Yeah. So she has a really good book that I would definitely recommend that is all about like balance, teaching your dog how to cope with stuff like this. She takes it from a perspective of ACLs, but she doesn't just talk about ACL. She talks about body balancing in general, which is really good. It's a great book. The and I would imagine that you've got this puppy on Jump for Joints, hopefully, because it is massively helpful for osteoarthritis. So, if you don't, I definitely would do that. I don't know what your supplement regime is. It's probably CBD oil. It's probably, omega-3s. It's probably all kinds of different stuff. And sounds like you're using laser and PT hydrotherapy, all of that stuff, which is also really good. But so stem cell therapy, I really like stem cell therapy as long as the stem cells are phenomenally healthy. So if the osteoarthritis is more like congenital and not from an autoimmune perspective, you know, if this but it sounds like if you're not doing flea medication, you're not vaccinating, you're not doing all of that. Stem cell therapy, I have had success with stem cell therapy, but I've never done it unless I've worked with that animal. We've treated that animal in our clinic for at least a year, so that I know that the cells are really healthy, like that they're going to be really, really healthy cells. So doing things like vital defense and things pre stem cell therapy. So like a year before stem cell therapy. PRP injections. I haven't personally worked with them, but I've heard some good success. Total hip replacement, um, and the femoral head. So I've heard that hip replacements for people, like as I can't speak to dogs, but for people are easier to recover from than even knee replacements because of the way the body is shaped.
Interesting.
But again, if you're I don't think that I'm not opposed to any of that stuff, as long as your dog is in really good shape going into it. That to me is like the number one thing. I think when we see a lot of this stuff go sideways, it's because the dogs are going in for surgery that are really unhealthy dogs. They're just unhealthy in general. So they're rejecting things, they're rejecting metal stuff. It's a real challenge for them. So as long as and I would always, help my clients by what is the quality of life with your dog right now, right? If its quality of life is great, like really, really great, then absolutely keep working. Grab that book, read that book. I'm sure there's more information. She does consults as well. But there's some pretty heavy duty homeopathic remedies that you can also give. And that's why I said jump for joints would be really, really good. And I would give it to your dog 4 times a day. Just just routinely 4 times a day. And there are other homeopathics like calc carb, calc fleur, calc faucet I was mentioning before that all has something to do with bone and arthritis. And there's lots of different but I would start off right away if you've got her on a great probiotic and you've got her on lots of antioxidants because that's incredibly important. I would definitely, and potentially CBD and whatever, but I would definitely have her on Jump for Joints 4 times a day, just routinely giving her 4 times a day.
I think she mentioned about having them on Jump for Joints. Yeah, among the supplements tech is A-Biz Jump for Joints. She's also on liver tonic for rotating 1 week on off Phytos Flora, Healthy Gut, Vital Defense, and Phytosynergy. She also gets fish oil, canine level 5,000, a liquid glucosamine supplement, creatine powder,
Yeah.
boswellia.
Yeah, that's all great. I don't know how often you're giving jump for joints though, but you could be giving her jump for joints 4 times a day, just ongoing like that.
Nice.
You don't have to pulse it. You don't have to um, take a break on it. Not when there's so much pathology, they can just stay on it. It's totally fine. You're not going to get with a dog that has that kind of pathology, you're not going to get something called a proving, right? Because it's actually directly dealing with the situation every single day because it's there every single day. So definitely don't worry about that. And I would recommend that book for sure for you to take a look at that book as well. And I don't know whether she's on CBD oil, but CBD oil is really, really helpful with this kind of, with pain and especially nerve pain, if it is affecting the nerve endings at all. CBD is great for that. But
Just one, oh, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
No, no, I was going to change the subject. So,
Oh yeah, because I was just gonna say Lily Julie said to mix these two together.
yes, that one that I was
Water.
going to read.
Yeah, so you could use a cup of water with, 4 granules of 2 to 4 granules of pulsatilla and 2 to 4 granules of phos acid, and you can put it in the same cup.
Amazing.
Okay, was doing it twice a day, but I'll go ahead with 4 times a day. Can she take it without food? 100%. Can put it right on, like pull her bottom lip out and squirt it on her bottom lip.
Amazing. Well, it's getting super late, especially
Yeah,
for me and Julie on the East Coast. So I'm gonna say goodbye now, everyone. I know we are still
everybody.
having,
Send their
sorry?
wishes. I said send their wishes to Jane Goodall
Yeah,
and her family and friends and animals, especially. So
yeah.
thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. And I know that we still have some questions here to be answered, and we apologize for that. It's like if we could, we would stay like for 4 hours, but we
Yeah,
can't. We also understand how frustrating this can be. So, for those who didn't get their questions answered today, please join our community on Facebook. They're pretty good on answering lots of questions, and we also have some of our own there answering some of the questions. So the community is the Adore Beats Collective. You can post your question there. You can also send us the question that you still have, questions at adorebeats.com. Again, I would like to thank you, everyone who joined us today, and thank you, Julie,
very well.
for being so dedicated with your time with us. I know that it's like you have a lot to do during nighttime in the farm, so thank you so much. I guess that's it. I was gonna ask about any final words, but I don't
I
know.
already said
You
it.
already said it. Yes.
I jumped ahead.
So yeah, I wish you all a great night, and remember to subscribe to our newsletter. You can sign up on our website to get all the information about Outdoor Beasts, our promos, new blogs postings, and future Ask Julie Anything sessions. That's it. Goodbye. Have a great night. Stay
Thank you,
safe.
everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone.